Hello, welcome. Today is Friday, December the 8th, 2023. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live with your host, Damon, the agent, where I come to you with the latest real estate topics, do my Q&A, which is my question and answers, and also, talk about a subject of mine or what's ever going on for that day in the wonderful world of life. So today, my topic when it pertains to real estate is going to be credit up. Now, Alexa, turn the volume down. Now, when it pertains to credit up, what I am talking about is we're going into 2024. And I think a lot of times we really need to start to focus more so on our credit. I've talked about credit plenty of times in the past, but I want to touch on it again because there are many things that are crucial when it pertains to credit going into the new year. As you all can see right here at the bottom, I have all the three credit bureaus' phone numbers, and I'm going to leave that up there because I really want you all to call them rather than going online. Today, there's so much going on with technology that whenever we go online for something, we're bombarded with ads and spam and all these other blockers and things that pop up all the time that it tends to distract you from being focused. When you call the actual credit bureaus, you can actually get more of an insight as far as getting exactly what you want from the actual bureaus rather than going to one of the bureaus' website and the other bureaus are trying to sell you things. So that's the reason why I have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. But first of all, I want people to do this going into 2024. I want everyone to order your credit reports. Order your credit reports with your credit score so you can actually see what is actually on your report. Now, I say that to say is I received a phone call recently from a homeowner who wanted to sell their house, and they also wanted to buy another house. And they told me that their credit has dropped tremendously, to the point where they couldn't buy another house. And I even explained to them that even if you wanted to go rent something until, you know what I'm saying, until you got to where you wanted to be with your credit, most people check credit when it pertains to everything these days. So it's very crucial that you have your credit up to par. And unfortunately, many people don't check their credit scores like they should. Sometimes when I ask people, what's your credit score? Do you know over 50% of the time people will say they don't know? But let me explain something. People who have A1 credit, they know their credit score. You know why? Because they check their credits frequently, like monthly. They check their credit monthly. Some people even check it weekly. Some people check their credit scores like they check their bank accounts. So I'm saying for those who do not check their credit scores that often, please get in the habit of doing so because it's very critical going into 2024 because so much is based off credit. Cash rules supreme, we know, but credit with the technology that we're in, people are going to always pull your credit. So like I said, the number one thing I want people to do is to contact all three credit bureaus, order all three of your credit reports with the score. The second thing that I want people to do is put a freeze on your credit. Put a freeze on all three of your credits. The reason why I say put a freeze on all three of your credits is because there's so much scamming going on today that people are getting people's information. People are, opening up accounts. People are doing so many stuff with people's personal information. It's a lot of scam going on. I actually received a phone call today on from an address that I lived at over 10 years ago when I had this house in another city 10 years ago. And when I was speaking with the people today, and the only reason why I called these people back is because they ended up calling my daughter, one of my daughters. And I'm like, how do they even have my daughter's number? So when I called them back, they told me actually they Googled. So they were trying to verify things. They asked me for my last four of my Social Security. I did not provide them with that. But at the same time, though, what they also did was they brought up some information and they said, oh, we have this address on file. And I said, I haven't lived at the address in over 10 years. And then on top of that, they brought up some information. I said that doesn't even make sense. They said something about I took out a cash advance loan, which I didn't. And then they said the government was trying to sue me. And I'm like, the government is not going to sue anyone for a cash advance loan because it's not a government loan. So, and then I told them it sounds like a scam. And then they got mad and they hung up the phone on me. So I say that to say is put a freeze on your credit reports, y'all. It's cost you nothing to do so. Once you call them, and at the same time, you can go online and create an account to do that as well, too. put a freeze on your credit report because of all the scammers, because of all of what's going on. I just want you all to be safe. After you'll do those two and you'll eventually get your credit reports back, look at them, y'all. You'll spend more time strolling on social media than you'll do as far as reading a book or as far as doing anything else. Take 5 minutes to look at your credit reports. 5 minutes. Some of y'all can do that when y'all sitting on the toilet. Take 5 minutes to look at your credit reports, to see what's actually on your credit report that should not be there. Some of you have paid things off. Some things are lingering more than 7 to 10 years that should not be on your reports. Take the time to invest in yourself, and you are going to do yourself a justice for years to come. Third of all, okay, you know what I'm saying? After you I'm sorry, that is third. First was to order your credit reports. Second was to put a freeze on it. Third was to look at it. Fourth of all, once you start to do that and everything, you should be in a position to help yourself increase your credit scores. If you don't know what to do after that, I would strongly recommend that you give me a call or send me a message, and I can go over it with you. My information is always everywhere, y'all. Make sure you're following me on all social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat and TikTok. So I'm on all social media platforms. Please reach out to me if you need any help. Once you get your credit reports, I'd love to help you all, because credit is crucial, not just for buying a home, not just for getting a car or even credit cards, but it's crucial if you want to rent something. If you want to do a lot of things nowadays, everyone is pulling your credit. And the thing about it is, there's so much scamming going on that you have to be very critical and protect yourself and to protect your ID, because people out here stealing people's information, opening up other accounts with those things, and people are being damaged because of these things. So please do these things. Order your credit reports, put a freeze on your credit, look at your credit report, and then after that, determine like what you need to do afterwards. And then once you do that, if you need any assistance or help, I will be glad to help you with that. So I just want people to get their credits up going into 2024, because credit is crucial. Credit is critical. And I want you all to be where you want to be. Again, as you all know, and I had one of my credit specialists on here with me before. Her name is Benita, and she helps people, guarantees to get people a 700 plus credit score within 3 to 6 months if they follow her instructions. You have to follow her instructions in order to do so, because, you know what I'm saying, it takes work on both parts. And I also have another person. She's in she's in Miami, Florida. She's very good. Purse Empowerment. You can find her on Instagram. Her name is Purse Empowerment. That's what she goes by, you know. So if you go on there, she daily gives out a lot of great financial information that will be very critical as far as your credit, as far as everything. And I actually am using her to help me with some things as well. And then I also know someone else. So there are many people that I have connections to that can actually help those who need assistance when it pertains to credit. Regardless of where you are in the country, we all can work on our credit. Unless you are a 800 plus credit score, you know, in which very few people are. But I actually have a client right now, and her two daughters are also, all three of them are in the 800 credit. So that's phenomenal on her part. As a mother, as a person, that's great, because some of us can barely make 600. And I'm just being real. I've seen some scores that are low, but guess what? That's life. You know, life happens to everyone. Credit fluctuates. It goes up and down. That's why what's on your report lasts the last 7 to 10 years, depending on what it is. It goes up and down. So you have to always make sure that you are doing what you need to do. But at the same time, though, if your credit is not where it is today, it can certainly get there tomorrow. And if your credit is there today, please make sure it doesn't go down tomorrow. So there are things that we all can work on. So to get the credit up, these are the things that I want you to do. Now, going into my next segment, which is Q&A. That's questions and answers. So if you all have any questions related to real estate, please let me know so we can address all. Okay. So Q&A, questions and answers. All right, let me give a second to see if anybody has any questions. I see one question right now, but just in case you all have any questions when it pertains to real estate, please feel free to ask them so I can address them right now. And I see one question. Let me see if I see any other questions. Okay, so let me go with this first question right now. All right, the first question that I have says, what determines how much your real estate taxes go up? What determines how much your real estate taxes go up? That's a great question. Now, I know sometimes people are paying their mortgage, and then all of a sudden their mortgage has gone up. And they're trying to figure out, wow, why did my mortgage go up when my interest rate is the same, the loan is the same, I didn't sign anything. And the reason is that your real estate taxes have gone up. Now, what determines that is actually your local county government determines that. For example, I'm in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. I'm going to use Maryland for example. Okay. In Prince George's County in Maryland, their taxes tend to be higher than their surrounding local counties. Charles County, Montgomery County. You can have the same house in Prince George's County for $800,000. Take a house in Montgomery County for $800,000, and the taxes actually lower in Montgomery County. Why is that? Because some people tend to go to the state meetings and legislations and they vote and they talk about taxes. Other people in other areas, they just content with, I'm a homeowner, I don't care. They don't go to any meetings. They don't contest and fight these taxes, but they complain about it to other people. See, here's the thing. Complaining about things to other people doesn't do you any good unless you're writing and addressing the people who are in charge. And an unfortunate fact is, in Prince George's County has some very high taxes compared to the surrounding counties. And that is one reason why a lot of people who were buying houses in the past couple of years, especially if they moved from DC into Maryland, many people were going down in Charles County. Charles County taxes and some of their houses were a little bit lower, but taxes were a huge factor for people. Because let me give you an example. If taxes are $6,000 a year, okay, you have to divide that by 12. So that means that's $500 worth of taxes on top of what is your mortgage is. So whenever people are getting pre-approved for a home loan, a lot of times the lenders will give them their estimate minus the taxes and insurance. But let's use that for example. Let's say your lender gave you an estimate and saying your mortgage payment is going to be $1,400, okay? And you say, yeah, that's cool because I want to stay under $1,500, but he minus the taxes and insurance. And then you go get a property and the taxes per year is $6,000. Divided by 12, that's $500 more on it. So now instead of your mortgage being $1,400, it's going to be actually $1,900 because the taxes had to be included. I've actually seen that happen before, in which people were totally unaware. This is one of the reasons why when I work with buyers and I tell buyers what is your monthly payments are, make sure that the lender factors in the taxes because the taxes are critical. And a lot of times they can send the property they're interested in and it will have the taxes on it, the total taxes on it, for them to give a true estimate on it. But taxes are critical when it pertains to real estate. So what determines your real estate taxes going up? The local county does. If you live in a county where your taxes are high, I would strongly suggest for you to reach out to your local county government and to see how you can do it. You all need to start to go to meeting. You all need to complain. You all need to make sure that your tax dollars are working for you. Complaining to your friends are not going to do anything. It's not going to change anything. Unfortunately, too many of us want to complain to each other, but we don't write people. We don't call people. We don't do the things that necessary that we should do, but then we want to complain all the time. So that is one of the things that make the taxes go up. Let me see if I got any more questions. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let me see. The part two to that question is, what can I do to help my taxes go down? What can I do to help my taxes go down? Well, like I said, to one, speak with your local county government. Also, depending on where you are, like for example, in the state of Maryland, they have a thing called the Homestead Act. The Homestead Act is where you apply and you file to help your taxes go down. That is the other thing you can do. If you're somewhere else, let's say you're in Virginia, or if you're in DC, I would suggest you to reach out to the local government as far as your taxes going down, because real estate varies by location, location. So you can also Google these things as well too to help your taxes go down. Now, those are the only questions that I have today when it pertains to real estate. I'm going to go into my topic of the day. Give me 1 second. Okay, my topic of the day is the 3Ds. And someone said, what is the 3Ds? The 3Ds is when people are defensive, deflective, and in denial. The reason why I wanted to bring up the 3Ds is because, hold on, I want to write this out real quick. Defensive and deflective. Okay. Hold on. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm sorry. All right, so here's the thing with the 3Ds. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it. So many people, and when I'm talking about people, I'm talking about all of us. We can be our worst enemy. We can be our worst enemy, people, whether we realize it or not. A lot of people out here lack discipline. A lot of people lack self-control. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, don't understand unity and how it helps all of us. But the problem is, whenever someone tries to give constructive criticism, many people are not receptive to it. You can have people doing wrong out here and people will justify the wrong that you're doing. And sometimes when a person knows that they're doing wrong, they'll gravitate to the people who are going to justify their bad behavior, all because they don't want to be held accountable for their actions. But the thing about it is, though, is whenever you tell people the absolutely truth about themselves or whatever's going on, people become defensive. People are in denial. People even deflect all the time. Why is that? Why is that? You know what I'm saying? Why do we as people don't want to improve and become a better person? You know, when you look at a lot of people, when you look at friends, when you look at even family, everybody has seen somebody who may be a certain age, but they're very immature. I mean, come on now, whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and you've seen people who still act like they're in elementary school or they're in high school, but yet they may be 55. I'm just using that for an example. They may be 55. They may be 70. They may be 39, but they act so immature because there's no growth within them. You know, there's no growth within a lot of people, y'all. It's sad to say that a lot of times, you know, sometimes you can watch people and you can watch people's behavior, and it seems like people are acting like everyone else. You know, sometimes people don't grow up, people are immature, and I'm not saying that everyone has to be serious about everything, but you have to be mature and responsible about some things. And sometimes when people are telling people things about themselves, it's not to bring them down. Sometimes it's to help to bring them up. But the problem with so many people is people are so always on the defensive of everything and always in denial that they're quick to deflect and they're quick to say, oh, that's your opinion. That's how you feel. But the truth be told is sometimes when more than one person is saying the same thing, it's true, regardless of what it is. It's normally true, or it leans in that direction strongly and heavily. You know, the 3Ds are destructive to us as people. You know, the 3Ds are very harmful to a relationship. It's harmful to growth. It's harmful to a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, maturing and getting to the next level in our life where we need to go, because we don't want to accept that we have flaws. You know, everybody has flaws. There's nobody out here perfect. You know, nobody's out here perfect. Regardless of how good you are at anything, you're going to be bad to someone. I don't care who it is or what you do. You like even boxers. When Mike Tyson used to fight, he was great to a lot of people, but to somebody, he wasn't all that good. When Michael Jordan played, he was the best player, but to somebody, he wasn't all that good. You know, sometimes when you see a person, they say, oh, he looked real good. But to somebody, he ain't all that. And same thing with women. Oh, she bad. To somebody, she ain't all that. And the truth be told is, regardless of what you do in life, no matter how good you are at whatever it is you do, you're not going to be good to everyone. But you have to be good to yourself. See, the problem is we need to also have enough self-love amongst ourselves that we are willing to accept constructive criticism when it is constructive criticism. Because here's the thing. When people tell you things, when people say things, sometimes it's really to help you, you know, and people don't seem to do that. They don't want help. You know, people don't want help until it's too late. That's what I've realized about people, especially grown people. When it's too late, that's when people want help. But when it's right there in front of you, people don't want help. And that's a self-destructive mechanism within a lot of people that people don't even seem to realize. And the only thing that I say is when it pertains to these 3Ds, being in denial, being deflective, you know, and being on the defensive, hurts you more than it hurts anyone. Because unless you are perfect, unless you are that millionaire, billionaire that you want to be, besides trying to play the lottery all the time, there's a lot of growth within all of us that we can have, that we can do, and in order for us to become a better person. But when are we going to take a look in the mirror and accept what's going on around us? Because a lot of times people outside of us can tell us more so about how things are with us than we can ourselves. It's just like you can stand in front of a mirror and you can look at yourself, but then somebody that's outside of you can say, oh, you got a piece of lint on your back. You can't see your back. Or people can say, oh, like for women, your hair is detangled or something in the back. You can't see your back. You can't see all around you. See, when you look in the mirror, you can only see what's in front of you. But there's others who are outside who can see what's going on the side of you, who can see what's going on behind you. And I just like, again, and I always like to give examples of sports because I love sports. And basketball is my favorite sport. Then boxing is my next one. And I always like to use boxing for an example. It's like when a fighter's in a ring and the coach is over there in a corner. And then the fighter comes back to the corner. The coach can say, yeah, I can see he's moving too slow. When you hit him with that right, all you got to do is follow it up with a left uppercut and then step to the right because he keeps on moving to that left. So his left is going to be your right. So when you do that, you're going to time him perfectly. See, the coaches on the outside who can see things that you can't see. And I say that to say that it goes the same thing in our lives. There are people who can see things that we can't see. I don't care who you are. You can't see everything. You can't do everything. What you can do, though, and what you should do is change your attitude. Because, see, here's the thing. Your attitude sets your altitude as far as how far and how high you will go in life. It's your mindset, what you think. And here's the thing, though. If you don't change your mindset, if you don't change your attitude, you're going to remain exactly where you are today that you was a year ago or 5 years ago. But if you change all these things, you can change your tomorrow. Despite what the economy says, despite what's going on in your family and your friends, you can change any and everything. But the problem is we as people, we're so quick to be in denial of things. We're so quick to be in deflective and defensive of things. Like I said, we're only hurting ourselves, y'all. So I just want to, you know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned with the credit situation, that going into 2024 to get your credit up. I want people to work on self-improvement to help yourself become a better person, because regardless of how good you are, how great you are, you ain't the best, and you ain't the only good one. You ain't the only one. You ain't the only one. It's always going to be somebody else better. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be somebody bigger, better, richer, better looking, stronger. It's always going to be somebody. But here's the thing. You can be the best you as possible. And so many people out here are so detrimental to yourself. Look at where you at. Look at your life. I don't know who's watching or which watching, but look at your life right now, where you are in your life. Is it where you want to be? Are you happy with everything in your life? Everything. And I'm not just talking financially, because too many people only focus on financial, and finance is just critical and good. But even if you were a millionaire, sometimes millionaires have voids in their heart and their life, and they're not always happy. But I'm just talking about, are you where you at? Are you the best version of you? Have you become a better person? Do you listen to people who are close to you? Because sometimes when people are telling you things, they're not telling you those things to hurt you. They're telling them things to help you become better. But you are in denial of certain things. Just like some people who might drink. Sometimes you got people who in denial of having a drinking problem. And then they're deflected. Oh, what about you? You got a drug problem. They're deflecting. They're on the defensive. But yet they drinking, getting DUIs in car accidents, hurting people, cussing people out, fighting people. But they only hurting themselves. And I'm just using that for an example. I'm just saying there's all types of things that goes on in people's life. People have gambling addiction. People have all types of addiction. Things are going on. But here's the thing, y'all. We all can improve. Like I said at the beginning of this, we are our worst enemy, whether we realize it or not. We are our worst enemy. We have no unity amongst ourselves. We lack discipline. We lack self-control. We lack self-control. Everybody does. At some point in time, you lack self-control. When are you going to grow up and smarten up? When are you going to become mature and act your age and not your shoe size? Because there's so many people that I see around my age. I'm 51. I see people my age and older, and they still act like they did when we was in high school. And I just shake my head. That's why I don't hang out or associate with a lot of people. Not that I think that I'm better than them, but at the same time, though, they haven't grown up. They're not mature. Why do I want to hang around immature people? That's never been me. But the thing about it is, though, I think that when we take the time to look at ourselves, to look at our lives, to look at the people around us, we'll realize that there's some things we could have listened and did differently. And sometimes the things we could have did differently, someone was telling us, but we decided not to listen. We denied hearing them. We were deflective. We were defensive. We didn't want to hear it. Why? We all want to be a better person. At least that's what I think people do. They want to be better. They want to do better. And the saying goes, if you know better, do better. So if you know better, people, do better. So those are the 3 Ds: denial, defensive, and deflective. Please work on those things because, like I said, you're only hurting yourself. We are our worst enemy. So I'm going to do a recap. So let me do a recap. Again, I said credit up going into 2024. I want us all to work on improving our credit. The first thing that I advise everyone to do is to order your credit reports by calling 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. The second thing to do is to put a freeze on your credit report because there's a lot of scamming going on, y'all. Please put a freeze on your credit report. Third thing to do is to look at your credit report to determine what shouldn't be on there, especially anything that has been past 2+ years and definitely over 7+ years. And then the fourth thing is to do is once you got all of that information, write out a plan to determine what you need to do to increase your credit score, or contact me and I can direct you to one of my credit specialists or help you by advising you myself. And then I answered the real estate question today was, why does real estate properties tend to go up? And again, like I said, it's the local county government, your state, the state you're in, that county government, because every state has various different counties, and you'll find out in different counties, taxes are different. So it's normally the taxes from that county. You need to talk to them. You need to go to these places. You need to vote in the correct people to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve, which is having lower taxes. Everybody, when they are doing the political campaign, they always talk about lowering taxes. Then once they get into office, they forgot that was one of their campaign slogans. But another reason why they forget is because nobody's reminding them. You all need to remind them. And then I just talked about the 3 Ds, which is denial, defensive, and deflective. So many people are in denial of how they are. They're quick to be on the defensive, and they're definitely going to be deflective because they don't want to put the spotlight on themselves. But again, having criticism is part of maturity, y'all. Everybody who gives you some type of criticism is not trying to bring you down. Some people are trying to help you to become further and better in life. So please work on those things. Also, y'all, please do me a favor. Please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Also, follow me on all my social media platforms. It's always Damon the Agent. That is me on everything. You know, you all can always go to my website and then click on the icons like you see right here. You can click on the icons if you all don't know. But again, I'm on all platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok. I thank you all always for joining me. I appreciate your time, and I pray that you all have a great and wonderful weekend. See you next week.